And we are live. Welcome to the, what did we call this? The Wake and Bake with the Growskis.
Sounds good.
I'm here with Tara Wilson and Dankman Dan, original Growskis from the Michigan Bros Grow Show. Happy to have you guys here this morning, waking me up early. I believe this was Tara's idea. So anyone that is awake right now, if you're normally awake, you can say thank you. And if you're not, say F you to Tara. Welcome, guys.
Good morning.
Good
And
morning.
F you to Skilbo, because he's not here yet.
Yeah, Skilbo the
Skilbo.
slacker.
But
Where you
thank you,
at, buddy?
thank you guys for joining me. What do you guys have for your wake and bake this morning? Chat, what do you have for your wake and bake this morning?
I have some fresh white OG. Sorry about the poor lighting conditions just yet.
Is white OG, is that the white and then something else?
Yeah, I really don't know the lineage on it. Skilbo, my buddy gifted me the cut. Been a great frosty cut that goes purple. So I think, it has something to do with, I better not say because I probably misquote.
I looked it up. It's the white crossed with San Fernando Valley OG Kush. So that sounds like a great combo.
It is. It's a real gassy combo. I mean, if you're into gas, this has got it.
And sorry, Tara. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Thanks for getting up this early. I
100%.
am doing well, and I am smoking on some of your lemon skunk still.
Heat. I don't know how you managed to conserve cannabis for so long, but it disappears way faster at my place.
You do what you got to do when you can't get it readily.
That's all going to change now because you're going to be your own supplier.
True. But not for a while. It'll take a little bit before I can get to where I need to be.
It always does. But you'll get there. I have faith in you.
You'd be surprised because, starting from seed, your plants will be a certain size, and then all of a sudden it's like they're twice that size.
Yeah, it's definitely been eye-opening to watch these plants grow.
Your lights know that it's 6 a.m, Dank Man.
Yes, it is time to get up, they say. Sorry, is that too bright?
Oh, no, that's cool.
Dark.
That's fine.
Time for the plants to wake up. It's time for us to get up. I'm rolling up a joint of Death Star this morning. That's how I'm cracking into the day.
Yes, I will be on number 2.
You're way ahead of me. I haven't even started yet.
I couldn't sleep
I was
this
still
morning.
running around the house trying to get ready.
I thought today was yesterday, so I was up and waiting, and then I realized at like 5:59 I was a day early. So
That's all right though, because you're always getting up super early, aren't you, Dank Man?
yeah, I'm an early guy. I wake up 4 or 5 in the morning every day.
Me too. The older you get, it happens.
It does. I used to work third shift, and I'd get out of work and go to the breakfast buffet at Big Boy. There'd be so many people there that were like, I don't know if they were quite as old as Dank Man, but they all looked like they were as old as Dank Man, and they were all eating toast and
blue hairs. But yeah, I get up early in the morning. I like it. It's been that way for years. I just enjoy mornings. Wake and bake. It's my time of the day. Usually I do my feeds in the morning and stuff, so just convenient for me.
Your head's probably a lot more clear in the morning than mine is right when I'm mixing feed before bed, basically.
It could be, like I said back there, we got like 4 different sets of cycles, different stages of flowers. So we have to feed different mixes, and it's just a pain in the butt sometimes, but it's worth it. Not complaining.
I'm starting on making a separate mix for my my intro to flower with my jacks. So I'm using a different concentration in jacks and then mixing in. I have MKP, which is it's mono, potassium, and phosphorus. So it's like a 0.5232 or something like that.
Jeez.
It's basically to cut nitrogen in flour. So
Right
I'm
on.
excited to start trying that stuff.
And about what week do you start that?
Use that for your first 2 weeks of flour
Right
to
on.
help knock the nitrogen out and transition faster, supposedly.
Right on. Now, do you do any dark cycle before flour or anything?
I actually can't, unfortunately, because of the I'm in a perpetual room. So
Yeah, same situation here now.
yeah, you see half of my pictures, they all come from half of the room at a time. So right now I'm taking a bunch of pictures of one half of the room that's nearing harvest, and then the other half just went into flour.
Right on. That's a great way to keep a steady supply of medicine. So
Hope so. These patients are hungry.
I'm telling you, you can't keep enough.
It's me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I roll like I grow. So
Yeah,
they're
me
large
too.
and
But
I'm
that's
not
the
to that stage
benefits.
yet.
But you know what? I usually don't take all the trophy buds. I leave all those for everybody else. You know, I'll smoke the mids and the lowers and press it all into rosin or whatever, and just be happy with that.
how funny is that too? That as a grower, you have all of your lowest quality bud, and all of your friends and all of your patients have the best quality stuff you can make.
I have them all because I save them all on pictures. So yeah, but that's just the way it is. You know, I don't mind.
Is there anybody in chat? I don't know how to see it.
Yeah, I don't even have YouTube.
Yeah. So Tara's new to the game. She was trying to chat with the YouTube chat in our Zoom chat. So there is people
Shout
on
out to
there.
Miss C, Abolish Farms, My Own Medicine, Miss D's Nugs, GB Farms, Prometheus Soil.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining.
Let me try to get my iPad up.
Just mute that video, Tara.
That's
What
me.
video? How?
Oh, it's Dank Man.
I'll
Oh,
shut
I was
up.
gonna say how.
Yeah. So when you're talking, it'll play through the YouTube.
There, I'm
after.
not new now.
Okay, there.
I'm
I
not new
believe
now.
everybody got up this morning.
I mean, not everybody. Skilbo's
Not
still
everybody,
in
but the important people did.
That's
Where's
okay.
Skilbo?
That just gives us ammunition for Skilbo for later.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to fuck with them good.
I tell you what, though, you can't keep up with that guy in joints in the morning. He smokes down.
I could, but I'm not awake that early. I got to be about 20 years older to keep up with them.
You're gonna have to try the Skilbo challenge one day then.
I'm down. I don't
All
work
right.
Fridays right now with this this COVID thing, so
Right on.
Friday would be the best day to do this shit.
Good deal. Yeah, I'd be down for one day a week. We could do this. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how often I want to commit to waking up at 5, but maybe.
We could do a not so early wake and bake.
Yeah. I'm definitely down to talk to you guys more often. I know that we do some like behind the scenes talks, and we've talked that way before. With the grow off and the patron stuff, we do a little bit of private chatting every now and again.
Yeah, it's nice. I really like that grow off chat. I've met a lot of great people since I've joined your show. It's been a great experience. I applaud you guys for what you do for the cannabis community, man.
Well, thank you first of all, but that one year episode montage thing was really cool, huh? I mean,
Yeah, man, that
about
was
us just here in
awesome.
the chat, but like that was really cool to watch. All
It
those
was
old
phenomenal.
memories.
It was really good.
I can't believe it's been a year. You know, just think where you guys will be in 2 years. I mean, you guys are gonna blow up.
Well, we were talking to the Embracing Organics guys yesterday, and Stabby kept insisting that we were going to pass their show in subs within a year or so. And it was kind of cool, like an honor to talk to those guys, of course, because as content creators. They existed before us, so they were one of the people that we kind of looked up to as like an inspiration, or as like these are guys that we watch on YouTube, that kind of thing. So to have them say cool stuff to us was I don't know, that felt really good. That'll be coming out Saturday, I think.
Like I said before, your guys, I did a lot of YouTube searching for, cannabis related content on how to grow. Never did I find a platform like your guys' where I could actually communicate with you guys. The once I started watching your show, along came the Embracing Organic. So it opened up the other shows to me that had the same platforms you guys did that I wasn't aware of, man. And it was great.
It's nice that all of us have been able to be that person for someone else in this cannabis community. Like, maybe somebody saw or heard Skilbo's like soothing voice one day and we're like, okay, podcasts are for me. And then they got a hold of some other ones and we're like, oh wow, these guys are really smart too, and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys do a lot of good for people and help a lot of people, grow their own medicine, and that's stand up shit right there, man.
Well, I think that's the most important thing we can do as growers. Not only is to provide medicine to our patients, but to teach someone else how to do this, right? Just like a farmer, giving a piece of corn to somebody doesn't do them any good. But if you can teach them how to do that over and over again, that's really the ticket. And I learned how to grow from a very, very old grower. And I mean, he's gone now, but he was old when he taught me how to grow, and he was really, really excited that I was as passionate as I was when I got into growing. And fortunately, that's something that we get to see in guys like, Tara and Dankman, like Tara, especially, you're just starting growing and stuff, and you get to see like what it was like for us when we started. And without that passion, you really can't do it, because money for a bag or something like that doesn't get you out of bed at midnight to go check on your plants and make sure that you turned your water off, or to make sure that everything is in order. And those are the things you got to do to really win, to check all the boxes. Skilbo's here.
We're waking and we're baking.
Good morning.
Good morning. What I think? Good morning, Skilbo. You know what I think, Sequence? I believe that you can feed off of others' passion when yours is low on the down. If you're just not feeling it that day, and somebody is so passionate about their cannabis, you can thrive off of their passion and re-spark your own. I see it time and time again where I talk to people who are like, man, Dan, you're just nuts about this shit, man. And I really, you made me want to be a grower again or whatever. And, I believe people can thrive off each other that way. Positivity is contagious.
I agree with that. Yeah.
100%.
And then at the same time, like this show gives us an outlet. So like all of the people in your life, Dan, probably are tired of hearing you talk about cannabis to them. You know what I mean?
No idea, man. No idea.
It's the same for me, it's the same for Skilbo. It's
Nobody wants to hear from me in my house at all, so I'm just
nobody pays attention to Tara anyway, so it's all good.
Big shout out to that 420 wife. Yeah. She put up with a lot, and she's of me talking and never shutting up. So she just learned that, hey man, if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. So she jumped right on board, and just as strong as me, but a little bit behind the scenes.
That's okay. It's just, we're just here so that we don't drive all of our significant others and our family members and everyone else crazy. That's all.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Guys, before I start coffee, or before I wake, I have to hit my coffee and bake. So I'll be right back. But I just wanted to let you know that my alarm system did not have it set. So you know how it is, like on your iPhone, you have it set where it's like, oh, I've got it set for 5:30.
I put in our chat, Skilbo.
Yeah, he did. He goes, "You up, Buttercup?" I'm like, "Fuck."
And I put our your drill instructor, your drill sergeant's not impressed. So
they'd have been kicking the bottom of the rack, dude. They'd have been on me like white on rice. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I bet he woke up in a lot better mood than he would have if we were kicking the bottom of his bed.
Yeah. for sure.
I didn't make coffee though. I skipped my coffee, so I'll make coffee after the show. So sadly, I don't have coffee with my joint, but that
I
was
got
my
sweet tea.
intention.
Yeah, I'm on my, I don't know, my 5th or 6th Keurig.
5th or 6th? How long have you been up, Dank Man Dan?
4.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
3 cups an hour?
Well, 3 big cups.
Miss C says this is the earliest I've been up since the quarantine. Appreciate the support, Miss C. Good morning, Stabby. We were
Absolutely.
just talking to you yesterday. That will be out Saturday. Brittany asked what everyone's smoking on. Critical Kush over there. I'm rocking the
OG.
Death Star. White OG for Dan.
I've got lemon skunk here.
Lemon Skunk for Tara. I wonder what Scobo's going to grab.
He'll probably grab what I want to smoke. The KC.
Okay. He's got a jar of. He's got all my stuff over there right now, so he makes me jealous when he starts smoking.
So Sequence, I got to tell you, my sister is like, so she texted me and she's like, I can't stand him putting up all these pictures of Crescendo. She's like, where is my Citral Glue? She's like, tell him to stop all the Crescendo. I want the Citral Glue. I told
So
her
that's
chill. It's not happening yet.
That's a bummer too. So like, I mean, I still have Citral. I just put that into flower, but from what I can tell, the plant that I just put into flower is like one of 2 clones that I have at the moment. So like for some reason I did that garden thing where I, been shuffling stuff around, and this used to be Crescendo in my garden. And that's why I have like 30 clones of Crescendo now. It's because I had a couple. So I got to build up my Citra Glue stash again. I've already had some people that grew it ask for the cuts again, and I've had a lot of people that have smoked it ask for me to grow it again. So I'm really excited to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
it's a good one.
What's that one
the
right
tips
there?
on that one?
It's like a grapefruit glue. It's really funky because it's got, a lot of that diesel from the glue in there.
Yeah, it's really a good all day kind of get you going.
Right on. Dig it.
As you can see, it's a winner.
It's
So
very
that's
much
the cut that Scobo runs, is that exact cut that's behind my head there.
Well, I know for my aspect and my point of view over here in the Ohio, I had to
Go blue?
get to a point where I got to help myself. I got my med card back in last year, March. So I've not had it very long, but I've been a smoker since I was like 15. But for medical purposes for the past 3 years, like that I felt the medical purpose of it and not a recreational purpose of it. How about that? So for me, I got to a point where the dispos around here are just not worth my money. I couldn't be a part of that. And where I got my med card from, they helped me, but they couldn't help me as much as I needed. And I needed to help myself. I couldn't depend on the people around me to get this for me anymore. I needed to do it myself. So I reached outside of my box, which I'm a pretty outgoing person. I'll talk to anybody, but I'm not really the tech savvy, as you know. So I reached out on Instagram to a couple people, just randomly, just threw it out there. I had met one person from the dispo, Green Farm. Shout out Anna, Lynx Rose. She befriended me and helped me get my feet, I should say, wet a little bit. And then I ended up DMing another person, Elevated Space, my girl Bobby, and really she's introduced me to so many people and helped me understand it, just that there's different stuff out there that can't help. So that's been very nice. I've been very fortunate, the people that I've come across.
Yeah, that's really a cool thing. And that's like one of the coolest things about our community, right? Is it's full of people just like you and Nick, man. And me and Scobo that all will answer those questions and all
We don't have that around here by me. I mean, if people were growing or something like that, it's not talked about still. You know, it's very, you know, when I go to the grocery store, you have to look around who's in there, and you got to talk about tomatoes still, you know, and it's medical here, but the stigma still is pretty big.
So being medical, you're not allowed to cultivate your own?
No, we are not allowed to grow here. And our caregiver situation is so much different than yours. That's why I was asking about it the other day. So the caregivers here can only either go to the dispo and purchase for us, or take us to the dispo and help us purchase, which, how does that person, that's my thing is, you know, how do they know what I need? You know, I was, you know, describing my problem, saying what I needed, telling them what I liked, and I still was not ending up with the stuff that I needed.
Believe it or not, depending on the dispensary up here, or provisioning center as they have to be called now, I've had issues getting in with just a caregiver card.
Really?
At some places. But it depends. It varies from place to place.
Well, that's the only way you can do it here.
Yeah. So like with a patient card,
a caregiver card.
Yeah, with a patient card you can get in everywhere, but some places are weird about a caregiver card.
Well,
maybe not as much anymore, but
you can't see what you're getting either. You can't see it, you can't smell it at all. I mean, you literally go to a green glass case, and you look in, and you go off of a menu that will have a couple descriptions, possibly will have what the percentage is on it, which I don't go by that. I go by my nose. That's how I get what I need. I smell everything.
You've already learned some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that I can, you know, if my nose doesn't like it, I'm putting you back. I might smell 30 jars and only pick one.
That's my girl. Yeah. I would say that I apologize for being late, but I know that Tara likes to talk so much, so it's not like the weight has been on Dan or on Sequence. So
I haven't talked that much
yet.
I wasn't even stressed, you know. I knew that everyone was going to be excited to see us awake and do an awake and bake. People are excited about awake and bake, by the way.
I have not even opened this fucking chat.
And we're this is what I have to deal with, people. Get your ass up, you bum. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking when it was just us three here and you weren't here earlier.
But when I was letting the team down.
We've had really good feedback. I knew that even if you slept through or something, like that's something I could easily do. We would be just fine.
We got 37 people watching right now.
Awesome.
At 6 o'clock in the morning, that's pretty good.
That's pretty damn good.
There's a legion of stoners out there.
There is, man. Everybody wakes and bakes.
That's right.
Well, and this is the first one. So if this is something that we tried to schedule and do like once a week or something.
Can you see that says morning blend on it?
Nice.
I think you would get a different viewership too than the other shows.
Oh, I bet.
Tara going hard out of the gates. She's probably been up to 2:30 though.
What are you puffing on there, Skilbo?
I was puffing on a little bit of quinoa. As you asked me, I start to cough.
Right on. I'm sorry.
We were curious what you were going to smoke first, and Tara guessed that you're going to smoke quinoa copper first.
I'm excited because I have some new Silver Squirrel Farm genetics coming, and
right.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Quinoa, strawberries, and the quinoa copper crossed with Silver Squirrel. So that's going to be really cool. You know how it is. Move over, bacon. You get new beans. You got to slide new stuff in, slide other stuff out. And I still have other stuff. I even told him, I was like, look, man, I'm totally going to pop this. But first I have to pop this blue strain. I got this blue sunset that I got to do something with, man. I got to get the blues back in my arsenal. Yeah.
You don't have to feel obligated to pop it right away. I think there's some gems in there, though.
My endocannabinoid system says otherwise. I do need this.
I've got a DJ Short Blueberry clone coming my way either this week or next.
That's awesome.
That's an interesting plant to grow.
Think of how many thousands of people have said that through so many years. I've got a DJ Short Blueberry coming.
I know. I didn't even really know about it until probably about 6 months ago.
Holy shit! How long you been waiting? Oh, you never heard of it before that?
No, I'd never really heard
It's
of
a
it.
big clone.
I was just thinking that was like, damn, that's been waiting a while for that one. She's
No,
almost ready to harvest.
no.
She finally comes on the show, and all we do is rag the fuck out of her.
That's okay. I'm used to that. I like
If
it.
you ask Red, the the blueberry naturally like hooks, like it's got a nitrogen toxicity.
Huh.
So even if it doesn't, it'll have clawed leaves. So that's one
Huh.
way to tell the plant from other varieties. So every
Interesting.
plant is kind of known for something, you know, like GMO is known for being long. That's one of
Right.
the things to look for in that blueberry.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I have a cut of blueberry that still goes around my town that when I first started growing, I hunted DJ Short's blueberry. And a friend of mine grew it outdoor last year, and he got almost a pound on it. And I was really impressed. I actually got to smoke quite a bit of it. Yeah.
Well, it's a treat. You really don't need too much of it either. I mean, it's not like it's a humongous plant or a humongous yielder, or that it's extremely strong. But you still don't need to smoke a whole bunch of it, though, at the same time. You can if you want to, sequence.
I want to. Unfortunately, after this show, I have to go to work, my day job. So I can't get blowed out too bad. I'll probably do a few dabs here.
No more quarantine for you.
No, so my
No.
I'm not going to get super personal, but my boss asked me to go back to work. Essentially made me go back. So I went back to work, and now they're talking about slowing down again. So I might go start working from home again.
Right on.
Oh, man. So what do we have going on? Do we have any more releases coming out that we need to be announcing? I think we do, but just not.
Oh man, you're asking the wrong guy, but I
Hey,
can
we
pull
can
him up.
announce that Dankman Dan's almost got 500 followers for his contest. So if you haven't started following him, you
Absolutely.
better get in on it.
Dude, why don't you have 1,000 yet? I don't even understand. Like, everybody shows you and Tara love. You guys should be fucking humongous.
'Cause I'm a dude, man.
You got the wrong plumbing.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we're almost there, man. I got a lot of support from all you guys. Tara's helping me out. Miss Cantaloupe, Abolished. Everybody's been pushing, and
But you
we're
gotta
doing good.
you gotta take Sequence's advice and take that final step and start that OnlyFans. And I guarantee you, if you start it, they will come.
That was the trick for me, dude. My support, like, I don't know, man.
Oh, I got them both.
Financial contributions. My, I get cans of beans in the mail. So I got an
Hell yeah.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
Yeah, see, Miss C's telling you to show more skin.
Show more skin.
Yeah, you gotta
Who
cut
doesn't
those shirts.
want to
I'll
see
take
that
my hat
midriff?
off.
I want to
You
see
gotta cut
that.
those shirts right here, and then you're good.
Well, you could really get slick with it, and if you went and planned ahead with this, you could take when you trim the plant up. Oh, man, down.
Sorry.
It's been a long time
Second
since
time
we had
she's
that.
pulled an old man on the show.
I was just gonna say it's like the old man Herman Hash shot out there with the man downs. Well,
Hey,
who
I
doesn't
got a
want
rickety setup here.
this time? You'll get professional next time.
Okay.
Next time come through, she's gonna have the big streamer headset on.
I didn't even have a cord to charge my phone, so I'm like running around the house trying to find a fucking cord.
So
And
like we went through a bunch of our old episodes last night on the 1 year. Thanks again to Abolished and Miss C. And you get to see the progression of that. Like every episode from like, here's the one where we forgot this, here's the one where we forgot that, and now there's so much more polished.
Well, look at the first episode. The first episode is basically there's no backdrops. I have a camera. Abolished has a camera.
I
Sequence doesn't. Sequence is just the smiley icon. Like, oh, this is, it's growing pains. So that's what it is. It kills me because people will say, oh my God, you guys, somebody last night said, oh, you guys are such a professional thing. bullshit. We're just a bunch of stoners, man. And we're
You
just
guys bluff it really good.
Looks like every
know?
painter had to draw some shit paintings or paint some shit paintings before they did some good ones, you know?
I keep hearing the Dukes of
Yeah,
Hazzard in
but
my
you
head.
know
That
what?
one
If you
little
go back to them
restraint.
saying painters beginning paintings are worth thousands more than the older paintings. So you guys do a great
True.
job, man. Don't
It's be-
ever.
That's because they assume that you slashed that motherfucker when you got good and burned it, and it's gone now. There is no evidence anymore.
Don't sell
There's some
yourself
cringy
short.
evidence.
Cringy.
Like
Ooh.
Abolished, I think it was Abolished that was saying that we all got better looking while we were watching his episode.
Miss C.
Seated.
And I told her she spoke for herself.
Well, I appreciate all of the behind the scenes, the work you guys do. I mean, I know you guys are making fun of it, but there's a lot that goes into it.
No, they do. They do a lot.
And it's tremendous, and very much appreciated.
Absolutely, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Look forward to it. It's my highlight every Sunday.
Yeah, that's our break. And these days with the quarantine being really weird, shows like this, hopefully they do it for the viewers. I don't know, maybe they can chime in. But for us, I think it really helps, that camaraderie and the ability to, like, we can almost pretend that we're in a smoke circle and have a little bit of a social thing, because at least we can see each other. And I think that's been really good for my person throughout this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, things have changed at home. We don't freely smoke with everybody anymore. You know, we'll roll up a hoop for everybody. Everybody gets their own. And that's kind of just the way we've been rolling around here.
I think that's going to be a thing for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing dab hits one after another at the shows this year at all.
Oh, you bring your own tip or something, or
Gotta get those silicone lips that go over your mouth.
silicone lips, the big old wax lips.
Don't you know somebody knows an
I
EMT, right? Somebody knows an EMT. You could get the little rubber lips that, you know, for the CPR dummy, put them over your lips.
I never even known.
I've got one of those Moose Lab things, so I just pop that in, but you have to remember it first.
Yeah, that's key.
That's the key. And I'm not going to be a tardo and wear it around my neck like some people.
I've had I did have a lanyard thing that was like, it was for doing like dabs and bong rips at the cup. Some booth was selling them there, and that was really cool.
The cup cough.
Cup cough is a name for something that I knew about, but didn't have a name for, and I really enjoy the name of.
Almost as much as hat fishing.
Isn't that awesome?
Hat fishing was funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dan. We try to keep you laughing, bro.
My kids taught me that.
So who's ripping on what out there? Let's do this again. I put some GG4 in the grinder this time.
Still the same old for me.
Me too.
At least I'm not smoking roaches.
That's right.
Not on the first episode.
I smoked some
That's
Death
episode
Stars, so
3.
now I'm gonna do a dab.
Yeah, I might be able to do a little dry sifting later.
Oh,
Get me some dabs.
Sprinkle some dry sift in there.
No, I smash that shit.
So anybody that's out there listening, just joining, I hope that you are smoking along with us. Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's a brand new day out there. Thirsty Thursday.
What's your favorite song to listen to in the morning?
I'm a little teapot.
What the
Gets me
fuck?
really gets me going.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting that.
That was just some off the top of the head shit. I was like, what can I say to
I was
try to
more
make Tara
expecting you
cough?
to say fucking Let It Go or something than that.
Let it go. Let it go.
Oh yeah, hit that like button. Thank you, Miss C.
Yeah.
Dan hasn't said that this whole episode. What's he doing?
I know. Well, I can't. I'm not.
'Cause
I
he
can't do
can't
two things at
juggle.
once. I can either be on video or I can be on chat. Can't do them both.
He can run the chat and cheerlead the chat, or he can stay on here and keep hanging with the crew.
It sucks because I'll get so wrapped up in chat, not watch the show. I have to come back and rewatch it.
That explains
know,
why you
I've
like
been
us so
doing
You'll
much,
have
isn't it?
to.
That explains why he likes us. He doesn't watch us.
Oh, I did not say that. I get caught up in chat.
I know.
But
I
what
can't
I
keep
think
up with
is-
that right now.
We have to get everyone on this side of the camera and have them try to do both things, and then they'll have a much higher respect for what we do every Sunday.
Totally.
Absolutely,
I can't do
man.
it.
It's a 10-second delay that screws it up. You know, as far as chat purposes,
Yeah.
being on this side now,
It's interesting, isn't it?
it is. It is. We, like I said, we appreciate what you guys do. Just let that out there, man. You guys, what you do means a lot to me. I'm sure it does to Tara too. I'm a better grower because of the information I've learned from this show.
So are we. We learn right along with you guys. Somebody will come on and say something interesting, and we'll be like, damn, we haven't really looked into that yet. And then it becomes, you know, we attribute it to whoever brought it to the table, even though nothing is anybody's tech. We've all stolen from somebody else. You know, it just ends up being the Spartan tech or the sequence way or whatever.
Remember, we're not one thing, right? We're a bunch of different points of view that happen to be on one
Right.
show. So, like, when we talk about cloning and Skilbo says something, that might ring a bell for 5 other people. And all those people go, oh, that's a good idea. I need to try that. So we've really been able to learn a lot within ourselves through this whole year, just as much as I hope we've been able to teach other people.
Okay, we do have a reoccurring question that's coming up in chat. Cheers to the 42 that are watching. The School of Crop is all capping out saying, are more expensive newts better to use? And then follows it up with, are all newts equal? So, Sequence, do you want to vibe off that first, or what do you want to do?
Yeah. So I have kind of my view is a little bit complicated, but I think that all bottled newts are essentially the same. So there's some newts that don't deliver everything that your plant needs, and you would want to discount those. But most nutrients do too much. So in my experience, you just want to find one that you can use, one that matches your lifestyle. Because a lot of these lines are tons of bottles and tons of work to run, and one that you can afford. So you can decide to pay for something expensive or something cheap. It just depends. Some people like to take pictures of their bottles and put them on their Instagram. So if you're one of those guys, you can get one of the really expensive ones. Maybe that'll make you feel good. I've got like the cheapest nutrients I could find, and I like putting that on my Instagram, showing people how affordably that I'm able to make the pictures that are behind my head. Because if you can do that for the price that I can, I don't know why you would choose other things as far as bottles go. So the key really is to look for lines that don't advocate for flushing all the time. So that's something that a bottle manufacturer will say if their line is too hot. And then you want to make sure that if it wants you to flush between veg and flour, it's probably also locking out nutrients. So those types of lines still need some work. That's what I would say.
You could chase that up and say that you can go from many bottles to a part A, part B liquid, or you can go to Jack's 321, or you can do general hydroponics, 3-part series, whatever you want to do. I mean, really, it just comes down to, like he's saying, what are you comfortable working with? And how dialed in do you want to be? Just because a nutrient line comes out with 14 bottles, you don't need to buy all 14 bottles. You really don't.
Then we got another question from the School of Crop. Should you feed every watering? So that varies.
No.
That varies depending on what your media is, right? So
Gosh, I'm learning my lesson.
yeah. So I grow in cocoa and I feed twice a day or more than that. But
Really?
in soil, you can't do that because soil has to dry down.
Yeah, I feed with Nectar for the Gods every day.
Usually what you'll see is if someone's trying to help you figure out what to do and they write it down for you, it'll be either a series of FFs or Ws or whatever. So it'll be like feed, water, or feed, water, feed, or water, feed. look at your plants. Your plants will tell you if you start showing any kind of deficiencies or anything like that, you need to up it up. If your shit starts going super dark green, you might want to ease off a little bit unless it's strain specific.
Yeah, I've been feeding too much.
So that's a thing.
Being
So
overzealous.
No doubt about it.
So it might, like I saw you surprised that I feed like multiple times per day, for example.
Yeah, but that's just because I'm not educated yet.
Well, I feed lower ppm so that I don't end up feeding more or like too much.
Okay, gotcha.
So like that's how we accommodate for that.
Okay.
Is by feeding very little. But the plants suck up lots of water, and cocoa doesn't hold too much water. So you really want to get as much water through the plants as you can. That means they're metabolizing very fast.
Yeah, right now I'm water feeding / whatever you want to call it, like every 3rd to 4th day. And I realized that I was like feeding every time and I wasn't just watering. So yeah, I figured that out finally. Kicking
How
my
did
butt.
your plants look?
I think they look okay, but I don't really know for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think they're okay.
Okay, well, let me ask you a
look
question.
beautiful.
Check this out. Is cannabis has been growing natively for 10,000 years. Bottle companies haven't existed that long. How many times do you think people did the whole feed, water, feed when they were cultivating fields of this outdoors?
Yeah.
So, okay, you can say, well, okay, but it's not the same thing because there's stuff in the soil and there's natural sun and we're using bagged products and lights overhead. Okay, but how much food do you really think it needs?
It's definitely a thing. So like that goes back to the bottle thing, right? So you're only going to get a feed, water, feed type schedule and synthetic nutrients anyway.
Yes.
Because like when you're outside, you obviously wouldn't do that. So you can look for those bottles that tell you to flush every week, or you can get nutrients where you can feed multiple times a day and you never have to flush. You just have to know what you're looking for, I guess. I've grown with nutrients where all of the strains tasted the same because of whatever bottle it was that was in that line.
I feel attacked. Before I switched over, I used the exact same company as 3-part for years and years and years, and all my shit tasted the same. So that's what led me down the tippy toe road of let's try different additives and let's see what I can do. And as time went on, I found myself going more and more towards organic amendments, which of course, back in the day, if you tried to mix organics and synthetics, people would lose their minds on you and start screaming. So I don't know, it's interesting, man. It's like the metamorphosis as a grower. Whatever you did to start, if you do it long enough, you'll stop doing it and do something else.
Yeah, I started in soil with Happy Frog and Fox Farm Ocean Forest 50-50 mix with GH 3-part. Ran that for a little while. Ran some advanced nutrients for a little while. Then I found the nectar, and this company was willing to send me 6-liter bottles for free to try their line.
Wow.
How can you go wrong with that?
Yeah.
So I tried their line, man, and I've loved it ever since. It's a big line. You know, you can run 17 bottles or you can run 3. You know, it all depends on your pocketbook, I guess, and what you're going for.
How much time you have?
Under nectar now?
Well, no, like people discount this part, but like how many bottles do you want to have to mix every time you mix water? Like
I mix 10 bottles right now for flour every day.
So it's definitely a different level of commitment than I have to have for my 3 parts.
This is a big commitment because this is a calcium-based line, which is a little different than your traditional NPK. So you got a little bit of a learning curve with it. But yeah, you got to mix it, shake it up. It has to be stirred very well because the fallout is very fast. Believe it or not, I run cocoa and I'm running, 6.5 to 6.8 flour. I had to change my thinking from my GH days that, man, I need to be, in high fives, low sixes, you know, with the salt line. So it was a learning curve there, but man, I love the results from the nectar. It's a lot of work, but I love the results.
That's one thing that I do hear all the time is that there is like a nectar of the God's army. People that use it swear by it. Just
Oh,
like
man.
people that use Jax, everyone that I know that uses Jax loves it. And as someone who smokes a lot of different people's cannabis, I can't tell the difference between either one. So I'm giddy either way. It just means it's more for me and more for them to smoke.
So I don't know
Right
if
on.
Cap still does, but I was doing some Jax research the other night, and I came across roll it up forum posts from Capulator from 2012 touting it, how good Jax was and what his mix was and all of that stuff. So
I know it from Green Jeans Yard.
Long time.
Green Jeans Garden is the one that turned me on to Jax.
and he's still using it too.
If I would ever leave nectar and go somewhere else, it would be Jax or, you know, the Floraflex.
It's just so cheap. You know, the quality is obviously there for me
Oh,
and
absolutely.
for red and all that, but it is so affordable.
You know, well, there's going to come a time in my life where I'm not going to be able to spend all this time hand mixing all these nutrients and stuff. And what am I going to do then? You know, then I might be forced to do a automated system where it's a little bit more relaxing on me. But personally, I love being in the garden. I love feeding the plants. You know, I love everything about it. So it's not a hindrance to me. It can be challenging every day to get it done sometimes. But, you know, we're here. We're putting in the work. And it shows,
Definitely.
man. We love our plants.
I thought you were going to try to push more work off onto that 420 wife, and I was going to stick
Oh
up
man,
for
she's
her.
a champ, guys. She's a champ. I cannot talk her up enough. She puts in the
Don't
work.
kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, Dankman Dan.
I'm telling you, we've got a great system. I mean, it's a no-fail system when you have two people feeding because we have a certain chart. Everything gets fed by that chart. Nothing changes according to the day. So it's really a really good system.
I was gonna say it's only no fail as long as there's not a communication breakdown. So the fact that there's a chart that helps a lot. You know.
Yeah, it's a set in stone chart too.
There's no I accidentally heard 14 instead of 4 on any of
Well,
those.
No, but there could be an
there's-
accidentally we both watered.
There is definitely user error that happens, especially if you medicate some, you know, a little bit too much and you're forgetting where you
I
are.
love
what
talking
bottles you
about
put in.
that. You ever think about that, Dan? How surprising it is that we grow such quality cannabis considering we're medicated so often when we're in our gardens.
Absolutely,
We're
man.
basically chemists when we're mixing nutrients.
Have a good day. She's off to work now, guys.
Bam.
But yeah, it is a chemistry battle, that's for sure.
I think that's why I went organics, is because I'm not a scientist. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a scientist.
I mean, you're trying
Well,
to do
you
the
are
same,
too, though. If
the
you're
same thing.
building a system in your house, you are a
Oh,
scientist,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I'm making a joke. I'm trying to get mileage out of it.
That's a little bit more harder than what I'm doing, actually.
What's harder about it is that there's no real fucking directions to this shit on the box. It's not like I can go, well, I'm just going to go buy some organic nutrients and just get it done. Like you can, but some of these dry ones, like I'll use an example for the company that I use, not just kicking sand at them because I've spent a lot of money with them. But down to DTE, down to earth. I love their powdered nutrients. But it talks about acreage and things like that. It'll say add like half a tablespoon per pot. Well, okay, that per what size pot size? You know what I mean? And everything is different. And what's your aeration of the soil and all that? I don't know, man. There's a whole bunch of shit that doesn't get calculated by Skillbo. It's just a roll the dice and let's see what happens. The plants are very forgiving. That's one of the best things about this hobby is the plants are very forgiving.
I think that strategy is really forgiving too, because like you said, outdoors and you're growing plants, they don't get to choose to be grown in the spot that's got the exact mix of things sprinkled around, right? So between the microbes and the soil and everything, it can balance it out a little bit.
I definitely believe it's the microbes that take care of it at that point, you know.
Definitely is the microbes.
I'm going to add my 2 cents like on the nutrient stuff, just because I didn't know anything going into this, so I kind of am winging it myself big time. I was supposed to get the nectar, was back ordered, never got it, so I
It's
canceled
hard.
it.
Sorry.
What's wrong?
I said it's hard to get it sometimes.
Well, I just, I'm going by books, and then I was having to go by what people were telling me. And I mean, right when all of the stuff happened, when I needed nutrients or whatever, the quarantine happened. So we were kind of a little, screwed. So I'm using what my guy, Mr. Chuck at my grow store is using, Gold Leaf. I've seen his stuff, huge results. I'm going to try it. Obviously, I'm going to tweak things along the way my next go, and I'm already making notes and learning from my mistakes and what I need to do and not do. And this has been a huge learning curve, and I feel like I'm doing a ton for a first time grow. But I also felt like if I didn't do this, I would never have gotten to be a part of all this. And it's been world changing for me.
First of all, I want to say how cool it is when you've been talking that bird is so happy behind you. It's perfect for the whole wake and bake thing for somebody listening on their headphones. Secondly, people need to go check your Instagram and see that this is your first grow, and tell them to look at your plants and see if they look like yours from a first time grower.
Yeah, right. she's growing some nice ones.
But she does have, Tara does have a background. Don't let her trick you. She's been doing her own gardening for, you say 25 years? Wasn't that?
Yeah. I mean, a garden, but veggies and all, but
cannabis isn't special. It's just stoners think it is.
Yeah.
It's still a plant, man.
It's the biggest cash crop there is, so it is special.
It's special in the way that, like, you don't go out to your tomato plant and look at the leaf and be like, it's slightly yellow on this left edge. I need to figure out what to sprinkle on it, to make it.
Yeah. But I do find myself going out to my plants now going, can I top you? Can I split you in half to make you more? Can I do this to you?
Can I clone this?
Can I make you something else? So that has been really cool too. This has been really good for me.
Well, it has to be weird coming at it from doing gardening for so many years to come into something that is, I mean, it's not different, but it is different. The way that we approach it's different. Our outlook towards it, like Sequence is saying, and you're saying about, can I top you? And Dan's saying this is a cash crop. Aunt Doreen isn't getting too much for those tomatoes if she goes down to the farmer's market, so she's only going to put so much work into it. That's
right. Yeah. I've never put so much work into anything that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, for my garden, it takes time, but that, took somebody to till that, not me. There's other people that, have played a part in my garden, but for the most part, this is solely me. I mean, I put that tent together. My daughter helped. Shout out Carly. Also, shout out to Joseph today. It's his 24th birthday, my baby boy, Joe B. But
happy birthday.
Yeah, but I have been the one to, I've done all this. I had to. It was something that I had to do for myself, actually. This has been, I've really never done anything for myself. And this is it. This is what I did for Tara.
Well, gardening can be cathartic for sure. I mean, it becomes your own space. It becomes your own time. If nothing else, it becomes your own ritual that you have to do every day. Mm-hmm. So you can approach it from, I'm not trying to, even though I'm old skillbo and kind of zenny, you don't have to approach it from a zen way, but people end up getting like the benefits of it.
I mean, there's some mornings that I don't even get high yet, and I'll be down there messing in them, and I haven't even smoked yet, and I'm messing, talking to them, doing this, doing that, and I'll realize maybe an hour and a half or two has gone by, and I haven't even smoked yet, and I've got a big old smile on my face, and I guess it's because I know what's coming from it. I know what the benefits I'm going to reap.
Therapy, Tara. It's therapy.
It really is.
The garden is therapy. I've never seen a person in a bad mood in my garden ever.
The benefits start before you light the lighter, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was kind of bummed yesterday when we found that Ermy, or day before.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
You guys and all your balls, you can keep them.
Well,
I wasn't expecting that.
You never know what's going to be said on the Wake and Bake, it appears. Huh?
No, heck no. Yeah, awesome.
It happens. It happens. I mean, you have
sad.
to realize it's not a sure thing.
No, and I'm glad we caught it early. You know, we're pretty diligent on watching our plants. So yeah, we caught it early, but I think I had an issue with a sensor as a light on it.
But see, that's crazy to me that just that little bit of that flashing light could possibly do that. See, that to me trips me out.
It was
I think
right
the
next
fact-
to the plant too.
Pretty
so-
bright.
I think the fact that it pulses is what creates the problem. Otherwise, if it was just a steady light off of something small, like say your power strip or your extension cord or whatever has one of those little stupid lights in it, I don't think that's enough to cause problems. But when he showed us the video of it doing it and it was like right next to it, I'm like, I mean,
Well, the thing
you
is
can't
that-
rule it out. That's the problem.
That's the only thing I can think of.
People like to ask questions about the moon and the stars and stuff, but you don't think about the fact. So your plant sits in one spot in your grow tent, and your sensor is sitting in one spot too. Your power strip is too. A power strip is actually an issue because of this, because that light shines on the same place all of the time. Outside, a car's headlights don't do that. The stars move every second of the day, and the moon does too, and all of that stuff. So
But that intermittent light is what's causing it to freak out in my mind. I'm not saying that's what it is, because that's part of the problem to this. So let's say that that's not what it is. Okay, well, if Dan addresses that potential problem in his garden, if the problem happens again, guess what? We've just done like a differential diagnosis. Well, it wasn't that. You know, so now we're going to say
Here's
it's
my
this.
theory on that. You know, I have 7 other plants in there, so if there is a other underlying issue, I should be seeing herms happen on those other plants. And we're definitely keeping an eye out.
I think we all are.
That's my grow off plant right behind me.
I love
My big
that
one.
Sequence just answered the question that just came through about do the moon and the stars create the light leak? Unless I'm late to the game because I'm not watching my phone the whole way.
no, yeah, that was basically what I was answering. Is the moon and the stars don't create light leaks because it's not focused light on any one part of the plant at any one time. So that's why the moon. You know, you get that question a lot from people. Like, how can you grow a plant outdoors when your room indoors has to be as dark as possible? And that's why.
Well, and then Fear Nuke in the chat, he's saying as the sun sets, it gives off a far red light that puts your plants to sleep. That's why moonlight doesn't harm outdoor plants. There you go. All you can do is eliminate and control variables. Yep. See, that's it.
Yep. I unplug that sensor at night. It's not even on right now, but yeah. And I don't want to dog the company because I'm still.
You might be able to
processing
tape over
talking
it or something.
That's what I would
Well,
do.
I was gonna do that, but then does that hinder the sensor's ability to read the CO2? And it's, I don't know.
Unplugging it does.
Well, it shuts off at night anyway, but that light, I don't know why it comes on, but actually unplugging it takes that light away. So
I want to see.
it's just my only solution right now.
Right. I was being a little bit of a smart ass for sure.
That's all right.
I want to say good morning, Rise and Grind to all 54 that are hanging out and chat with us. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake and Bake with the Growskis.
I see a lot of UK people in the show this morning too. So
They're 5 hours ahead of
54
us. So,
people,
Yeah.
that's
so it's like
awesome.
11 o'clock or whatever it is now there.
right on. Shout out to you
Love
guys.
it. Sweet. Shout out. Thanks for everybody being here.
Worldwide, baby.
I actually have to bounce out, guys.
Right on.
I got to get on with my day and do adult things.
We understand. We understand.
But thank you guys for the idea
you.
and doing this with me and all that stuff. And thank you for Skilbo for getting up. You can proceed if you want to.
I'll carry it for a little bit longer and then I have to go upstairs myself and get ready. So let's ride on through. I am now the
Right on.
captain.
I made you the host. You guys have a good one.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Sequence.
Sequence.
Have a good day. Thanks for getting up so
Be
early.
safe. Stay lifted.
And then there were 3, but we're still rising. We're still grinding. Let's go. Now
I still got a lot of shit to trim.
This reminds me of a certain late session we were trying to get together right here, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm kind of a thorn in all that issue right there.
Tara's a party pooper.
Hey man,
I'm
we made
not.
it.
She can't
We
come
made
out
it
to play all
happen.
the time. We made this happen so Tara had a time and a space. So
And I appreciate it so much. Tremendously. It's great. Thank you.
so what do you want to say to everybody out there, Tara?
I don't know. Hey.
Hey.
That's the first
No,
thing she said when I met her. Hey.
I don't know. Let's see. I guess I want to say thank you more than anything. You guys, the show, you people, the panel, Dan, Skillbo, Sequence. I mean, I can go on and on. I've got a list of people who have helped me, been my friends, listened to me whine about my stupid plants that I'm freaking out about when there's nothing wrong with them. I have been, up and down over the years, and this past year has been the best year of my life.
Well, I
I've
think
done a lot
that
of growing.
Wow.
both of you
myself.
guys are like exhibit A and exhibit B of the chat community. You guys have actually developed friendships and everything else strictly from the chat. We
Mhm.
haven't all met each other, IRL, so to say. But it's the good vibes and the positivity, and you know what I mean? Just like, good morning, how you doing? Hey, what's up, man? It's good to see
Like
you
I
again.
mentioned to you before, Skillbo, Tara and I have actually met, and I don't believe we have met you.
Nope.
That's
Nope.
pretty ironic.
Not at all. I think it's great, man, because
Yeah, oh,
really
me too. Absolutely.
it's all,
Absolutely.
I've said it a whole bunch of times, and yeah, I've got a brand new platform here on a different show, so maybe there's somebody else listening that hasn't heard this yet. But when Sequence and I started this as a podcast, it was to try to shine a light on Michigan growers, Michigan breeders, canna-friendly companies, and things that were like a Michigan-focused base. And we found early on that there was a whole bunch of people that were willing to talk and that really just wanted to plug in and find something to fly their flag under. You know what I mean? And as we've gone on, you guys, for anybody in the chat that doesn't understand, is I've made jokes about Tara and Dan. I've called them our OG Growskis because they've always been with us since we started doing the Bro Show lives
And that's just a nice way to call me a stalker.
Hey, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, Tara. It's all in perspective. Perspective is 9/10 of belief. But what I think is awesome is that it's transcended like Michigan, and we have people from not just all over the states, but we have friends from all over the world now that we look forward to greeting and laughing with and learning from. So I think it's awesome that we've been able to like plug ourselves into that as a show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you guys been the highlights of my weeks for the last year.
Absolutely.
That's the truth.
I've never planned anything more around a show. I've never planned around a show before, ever. I've never done that before. I mean, I literally have planned work around it. Like last night, I couldn't believe that I had to go help my sister with her car, and I'm out there, we're charging up her car, and I was like, guys, come on. Show's coming on. I'm out there trying to stream this, and I'm sitting out in the middle of the yard. I was like, come on, guys, let's get this on the road. I was like, it's time, come on. But this has been awesome for me because around here, I can't really talk to anybody to find out what I needed to know. And when I did reach out to people, I wasn't getting the answers that I needed. And as soon as I tuned in with your guys' show, and I've been able to have the information that I needed. Not that there's not other podcast, YouTube videos, this and that. I can't really even say what it is, but something about you guys clicked with me, and I was comfortable in it. You guys talked to me. I understood what you guys were saying, whereas another YouTube or a podcast, I might not understand. So you guys dumb me down for me big time because I'm not the smartest, but I appreciate what you guys are doing out there, and I know a lot of people do. It's great.
Well, I don't think that anybody has like the market on how to grow cannabis or anything else like that. And you did hit the nail on the head. What we always get is that people are like, I can tell that the panel actually likes each other. because we joke around and it's not mean spirit or anything. Just like we're joking around with you guys, you can tell that there's like a rapport and a camaraderie that goes on there. And it's just, I don't know, we treat it like it's like your buddy that comes over and has a sesh with you. You know what I mean? You sit down, you talk plants. What are you growing? What are you smoking? Have you had anything weird happen? And that's how we've all learned this shit, is second and third hand. So it just comes down to, who are you comfortable listening to? Who doesn't get on your nerves that much? Who puts out content enough that you can become like a fan of them? Because it'd be one thing if we put out a video every month and a half, or sporadically, where we were on like 3 times in 1 week, and then we were not on for the next 4 weeks, and then we were on for once. And yeah, you have to deliver content like consistently for people, and you'll find that like the people that you watch the most sometimes are the ones that are putting out content, because it becomes a shotgun thing. Eventually, I'm going to say something that someone's going to think is smart. Eventually, not this morning, but eventually.
Well, I find myself going back and watching the old ones, especially now that I'm a year later into it. My information has grown. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable to some things. So now I know it's some of the things you guys are talking about. So I'm not just sitting there going, oh my gosh, what is this? Writing everything down, looking it all up. So you guys do make it to where you talk to us. I mean, to me, I mean, I would never have been where I am right now if it wouldn't be for you guys and some other of my friends in Michigan. And that's 100% the truth. I would have never grown weed. I would have never stood up for myself to grow weed, cannabis, whatever you want to call it. My medicine is at this point what it is. This is what I need. And I will fight for it. And I have been.
Okay. So did you flip your grow off plants to flower yet?
Yes.
Okay. So what day are you on now?
Let's see. Today is what day? Thursday?
Thursday.
It'll be a week tomorrow.
Okay, so you are on day 6 of flower right now. Okay, so how many days have you talked about running these plants for in the grow off chat? Has anybody come out and said, I think I'm going to do it this long or that long or whatever?
Oh man, I'm gonna read the trichomes, bro.
Okay, you never know. Hey,
yeah, could be 50 days, could be 70 days. You never know.
Look at it like this: is if we do some math right now and we say, okay, so Tara's got 1 weekend, and we don't have our get-togethers gathered until the 9th of August. So that's going to give people more than enough time to flower at whatever length that they want to take it. If you want to take it and run it at 7 weeks and try to get a long time cure on it and see if that's the way to go, hey, that's your prerogative. And, make sure that you write everything down that you do with this, so that when we get done with this and you're selected the winner, that you can pass on all the pertinent information to people that might grow this in the future. So I think there goes, we're building that community again, because it's people helping people help themselves.
Oh yeah, man, I'll keep track of when the stretch stops, everything.
I know, I've been keeping track of everything too.
I don't know, I'll read the trichomes, I'm assuming, 60, 65 days. Typical. I'm not doing anything different to this plant that I don't do to my plants normally. So, I'll be able to describe how it was grown, because I'm treating it the same as everything else. There's definitely 2 different phenotypes in this grow off. I have short, stocky plants that are barely pushing, 2 feet tall. And then I got a bigger phenotype that we just got to keep tying down, because she'd probably reach over 5 feet.
So on the tall phenos, would you guys be open to topping early and often with that and flipping sooner, trying to make more of a bush?
Yeah. I never topped this plant.
Oh, natural.
But the side branch, it's so large, it's already caught up, and it's a massive plant. Massive.
The my Mr. Chuck at the grow store, he's told me to top mine, but I didn't want to because I was scared to.
It's okay. I
First time people do it with the scissors, they always get there and they got like the trembling fingers, like, oh, I don't know. I had a buddy come over, got me right out of this in the beginning. I was, I think it was my 2nd or 3rd grow, and I had some White Widow. And the first time I grew this white widow, I didn't do anything to it. It looked like fucking trash, man. Horrible. So my buddy came over and he was like, okay, look, man. He took like 8 inches off the top of this plant, just whacked it all off. And he said, here, make this a clone. I was like, holy shit, you can make the big piece like that a clone? He goes, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Go ahead. So the next time that I ran that plant through, because I took such a strong, healthy top off of it, instead of, in the beginning, I was always taught, oh, you should always take the little bullshit off the bottom of the plant and let that be the clones. And I found for myself, it was like, yeah, I can do that. And it doesn't overall hurt my canopy by doing that. But I'm taking something that's hasn't been exposed to solid light in a long time. So it's already not firing on all cylinders. And sometimes if you take that top and you put that shit and clone it, it will take off quicker and more robustly than if you'd taken one of those larvae lowers and trying to save yourself something. Remember, when you take a clone off of a plant, if you don't have a mother and you're just riding, one plant to the next, make sure that you take a good clone off of that, because you're setting yourself up to either succeed or fail for next time, or how much heavy lifting you're going to have to do to bring that next clone to harvest. Plan ahead.
Yeah, I always make sure I have roots before I flip it. when I'm doing, because I always transfer moms, really. I'll push them out, take 4 or 5 clones, take that bush, throw it in a flower, after them clones have taken root, and kind of just keep rotating it like that. That way I always get one great big bush every cycle to run.
I've always believed in the 3 cycles. Oh, I've always believed in the 3 cycle run. I have, in the beginning, before I was able to plug into the community, I used to be that dumbass that would go buy clones at the dispensary because that's where I could find them. So I would get something that was in some different medium, that had been fed something different, that was chopped off a plant grown some other way. And I would find that after 2 or 3 runs through my room, that I would start to see a really healthy, strong representation of whatever that genetic was and it had to offer. So instead of just running it once and being like, oh yeah, fuck this piece of trash, I'm good on it, you have to bring it back through. So if I've already taken clones off of it once because I thought maybe it was a keeper, run that second clone, take a really strong, healthy cutoff at this time, and then try it the 3rd time before you decide whether to keep it or chomp it, unless you're just like awash in riches of genetics that you can pop instead.
In my experience, Skillbo, I've always seemed to run the plant better the second time around. After I've seen it grow out, I know how it, what it's going to do. I always seem to excel on the second round with it. I don't keep every strain, I'll grow them out because we only got room for the good ones. I'll take excess clones, and if we don't need them, we'll cull them out. You know what I'm saying? If we don't like the plant or whatever, for some reason we don't choose to keep that strain around, we'll cull them out.
See, I wish I knew more patience.
Better plants.
If I knew more patience, what I would do is all those ones, let's say I have a pack of beans that I pop, 5 end up being female. I know I'm going to keep 1, so I've got 4 extra phenos of this plant. I would much rather try to let my friends or other patients sample that and see if it's medicine for them. And then I can just be like, well, that's the number 3, and I'm not keeping the number 3. So here, if you want to run this in your garden and then you've got this, I don't know, man. I've always been about like cannabis as medicine and helping yourself and then helping other people so that they in turn will help you.
Yeah, and let's not say that when I say culling, I'm killing everyone off. We will give clones to other people to, ones that we just aren't going to be running that phenotype anymore, such as our Divine Storm. We're only keeping 2 phenos. We kept the real frosty green one, and then we kept the purple one. And
My favorite.
The other ones, we let those go. 2 other friends, they can grow those out if they choose. But yeah, we kept the ones we wanted.
I always felt like the the ones that are at the dispensaries were always the non-keeper cuts of whatever it was. Oh yeah, sure, you can have this grapefruit
never
diesel,
thought
but
of
it's
it
not my
like
keeper
that.
one. Well, you took clones of all this shit, so I don't know. Sometimes it's that someone has like a workhorse, like there's a Moby Dick cut that's been around forever and been passed through this whole group of people, and it's like Dab Smiths and Kyle Gardner. Shout out to both of them. They've had this Moby cut forever, and it's around for a reason. It's really a interesting, good smoke.
Right on.
With my clones, I took 12. And I kind of did it. I've kind of been experimenting a little bit. Like each one of the 3 plants that I have going, I've done a little bit differently and been charting what I've done. But with the clones, I took 6 from the top and 6 from the bottom, and then split it up to see which ones possibly would go first, or if any. So far, the 2 that have roots are the ones that I did not expect at all. And that's from my little 2-foot baby plant, my little shorty girl. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I totally thought my big girl, who I started March 2nd, a whole week and couple days after the other ones, and it's huge. I thought she was going to be the one to root out first. And these clones of the little shorty have taken off first. I was really shocked.
Amazing. Yep, you never know.
And they came from the bottom.
Wild.
So I don't know. So like I said, I'm writing all this stuff down, and I've done a little bit different with each 5-gallon is a little different.
The turn-in is going to be so much fun.
I like that you're willing to experiment out of the gates and don't get caught up in, oh, I don't want to kill it. I've said this before a lot of times too, so it bears repeating. Once you flip that plant to flower and it gets to the point where it starts building bud structures, let's call it week 4, week 5, you're just waiting for the plant to die on its own. My job is not to kill it prematurely, just to make sure that it finishes. Yeah, because people get so worked up and worried about shit on their first grow. Like, don't worry about what your CO2 levels if you've never grown a plant and finished it before. Don't worry about that. Let's just focus on one thing at a time. And
yeah,
then
I don't worry
as you and then as you get going further and further, don't overcomplicate the process, because when you go to grow stores and you see all that used equipment laying around for sale, that's somebody who got frustrated and said, fuck it, I'd rather just pay for meds than I would grow my own. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing to think about. You know what I mean?
I told Tara the other day that, flower is the most boring part of growing, man. Veg, you're all hands-on, and flower, there's not much to do but sit back and cruise control. So,
You've either set yourself up to succeed or to fail. That's one way or the
growing
other.
is a great way to learn patience.
Every single mistake.
Very rewarding.
Well, every mistake you make, I made a joke before about the abacus. And if you start with, all of the beads on the 100% side, and every mistake, every time that you let the pot dry out too much, every time that you overwater, every time that there's any kind of problem, you can slide one of those beads to the negative side. And if you think about that 100% of those beads as your overall harvest and plant health, every mistake that you make is cutting into that. Sometimes you can make it up and you can slide one bead back over, but let's not fuck it up in the first place. So don't overcomplicate things for yourself. That's always my advice to somebody that's starting out.
Oh, I've definitely done that for myself, but it's okay.
But as you've seen in like the Grow Off chat, some of the things that you have gotten really, really been out of shape about have been nothing at all.
Nothing, I know.
People are like, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it, Terry. Like, are you sure? Are you, So
poor
growing,
Michigan medicated, and poor Dan, they have to listen to me all the time, just go on, and I just fret and fret and fret, and they're like, it's okay, you're fine.
That's because we've been there before. I remember. I've been there. You just love your plants. That's all.
I do. I do. I love them.
Yeah.
I wish some of those bums would have gotten up this morning and gotten in here with us. I know they're lurking in the chat. They're just not open like this. Basically, every morning it's Dan, Tara, me. Narwhal comes up early. Who else comes in early that we
Bro's
see?
usually in there. He's in
Yeah.
early.
Normish Micro.
Normish Micro is in there. And so the thing is to try to get our wake and bake on, make some jokes, just exactly what the fuck we're doing right now. We're just doing it
Dude,
on
I was
camera
gonna
rather than in chat.
say that. I was gonna say that about 15 minutes ago, man. We're doing the exact same thing we do in chat every morning because everybody don't know. All of us talk every morning for hours. I can never get shit done because of this chat.
I was late yesterday because I just like, I gotta go. And I'm just holding the phone, piddling around, still waiting.
It's horrible. Horrible. I'm telling you, I can't get nothing done in this chat. But yeah, this is just on camera. So we do this every day, all day. We just decided to film it once and appreciate it, guys. It's cool.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty high.
And we're keeping it highbrow today. It's not very lowbrow.
No.
Well,
We've got still 48 people hanging with us. That's awesome.
On.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I think we got about 10 minutes left, and then I got to bounce out of here. Next time we do one of these, we'll do it longer. I really want to run this from like 6 till 8. I think that's a good thing. By 8 o'clock.
Oh, hey, man, there's a bunch of other Growskis there that can join in for sure.
Absolutely.
Dan, you got to work today?
No, not today, brother.
Lucky.
Not today. I got a bunch of deliveries coming today at the house, so I got to be home. And
yeah, man.
We're building a greenhouse and putting up a big privacy fence. So
nice.
Sounds like it's no day off at all.
No,
it's gonna rain, so I don't have to do anything but just be here.
Unpack, load, stage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some trimming today.
You trim it up?
I'm trimming up my white OG, and then I'm gonna throw it in a paper bag for a freaking day or two, and then put her in some jars. And that's what I'm smoking on right now.
So here's an interesting one. You are trimming a dry branch, or are you trimming a wet branch?
It's dry. This has been hanging now for about 6 days in my other bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the smaller branches are nice and crispy and breakable. But what I do is, I'll buck them off the stem, clean them up. I put them in this paper bag, and whatever residual moisture's in there, it'll wick that out in a couple days. And then I put it in a jar and cure it as normal, burp it twice a day for the first week and so on. It's smokable now. Is it harsh?
But it's still a little bit green, though.
Yeah, it's still fresh, but it's all I got. So I'm smoking this shit.
Hey, listen, I've been there to the point where I'm like, well, it's too wet to roll in a joint, but I bet you I can fucking stuff a pipe.
No, it's not that. It burns great. It smokes great and everything. But yeah, it's not cured, so a couple more days in the jar probably. It gets the job done. It's pretty frosty.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's a nice purple strain. Well, almost black.
Gotta love that.
And man, it presses really good. The rosin from it is top notch.
So when's the next time that you're gonna squish?
I will do some dry sifting today.
Very nice, my friend.
Yeah, I'll dry sift it today and then do some pressing tonight. Probably press, hopefully 7 grams of dry sift or so.
Get a nice return off of this strain?
Oh, yeah, man. This will push out probably 75, 80%.
Hell yeah.
On dry sift.
Shout out Skilbo and his roller ball.
Yeah, man.
A little tiny one.
I had to upgrade.
I know. I'm getting ready to.
Yeah, man. That thing comes in handy for my back, Skilbo. You have no idea. I hurt my back moving a bunch of dirt, and yeah, came in handy. using the shit out of it.
That's where it's at, man. I appreciate that. So
No, I appreciate that. I really got to learn how to make it.
it's not that bad. It starts off. I'll give you the basic rundown on it.
Yeah, but it's the cost to get into it that I don't want to deal with. I'd rather just support my buddy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I as far as I'm concerned. But
yeah, I've been working on that for, oh man, probably like 4 years now. I think something like that. I got into it because I'm a big tincture maker. So I used, well, this morning in my coffee, I have 2 eyedroppers full of tincture in it, and I do it every morning. And it's nice because it kind of chills your stomach out when you get older and you wake up and your stomach's like, oh, kind of feel that nausea or whatever.
absolutely.
And it just kind of sets the mood for me. It takes a while to kick in when you drink it. But the beautiful thing is, if you have your cannabis tincture and you mix it with a bunch of other shit, you can make a topical roll-on, and it kicks in. I always tell people that if you put it on in 15 minutes, you'll feel some kind of relief, but it's really like 5. So it's always nice to set the expectations really, really high. So like they, like, oh, wow, it worked even faster. But it's just that the roller ball is made to treat inflammation. So everything that's in there has things that are good for treating inflammation in it. And I don't know. It works for a lot of shit.
When I explain your product to other people and I want them to try it, because I have a couple sample bottles of your product, Scobo, I tell them, hey, all these in conjunction together create a great medicine. All them products together as fused as one. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe the relief from my tennis elbow, which only other way I can get relief from this is I have to wear these arm braces that are very restricting to my arm. Your roller ball, man, I put that shit on. I'll do it, mind you, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, depending on how much I'm using my arm. But it works, man. I mean, it works. Takes that ache right away. And when I hurt my back, I was like, oh yeah, we rubbed it on my back, and man, that shit works, man.
That's initially what I made it for.
I call it magic potion, man. It works.
Things that I use it for my back, my neck. Like I've told people, and people have reported back to me. So if you wake up in the morning and you have nausea, and you smoke in the morning to try to get the nausea to go away, if you put just a stripe down your stomach where you feel the nausea at, usually it'll chill it out. Again, 5 minutes. If you have a migraine, put it on where it's hurting at, and it should turn it down. If your pain is like a 7 or an 8, I'm not saying it's going to go to a 0 or a 1. I'm going to say that it's going to turn it down, and go from there. Realize that your body is in pain for a reason, though. So inflammation is a way of your body's way of trying to protect itself, unless it's some kind of dietary issue or we're going down too many rabbit holes, and we only got a few minutes left, so I'm not going to go there. Brother.
Shout out to Skillbo and his rollerball, man. I love that shit.
Absolutely.
So you got the day off, Tara?
I'm going to work hard a little bit, about maybe like 10 to 2 or 3 today.
Right on.
I have more work to do in the garden. I did a little bit of it last night, and I have more to do today.
It's a never-ending battle.
No, before when I get off of here, I have to run upstairs to give Miss Skillbo a kiss goodbye for work, and then I have to get my ass into the flower room and look at trying to work on this soaker hose setup that I have. So I'm adding a second one to my res today.
I will definitely be figuring out a new watering system.
I appreciate you taking time out of your morning to do this there, Skillbo.
Even if I was 10 minutes late or whatever the hell.
I'm not going to hold that against you.
I showed you proof. I held up
for it.
I showed you the alarm. I was like, look, it even called me a bum. So
hey, we weren't even stressing, man. We were pulling through. So
Sequence will give you more shit than us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
Right on, man.
Thanks so much for this. I really appreciate it. This was really fun.
Absolutely. So you want to go through and do some sign-off shout-outs and everything else? And
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to start, Tara?
Sure. Sure, I can start. I have so many people that I want to thank, but most of all, Michigan Bros Grow Show, all you guys, the panel, Dan. I've made so many friends this year. I can't even begin to express my gratitude, thankfulness, joy.
Look at the chat. Look at all the names in the
I
chat that
know
we see every time, you know.
I want to give back so much that you guys have given to me. I had to make a list, but shout out Anna from Green Farm Links Rose. Bobby, you're my girl. Elevated Space. Gabby, thank you so much. Miss Vicious, I love you. The Frankenstein Mine, dude, you're my dude. Dab Shelby, love you so much. DD Meds, you showed me what some good old school smoke needs to be again. Thank you. Oh my gosh. M2, I love you so much. I can't wait to meet you. I'm coming up next weekend to get to meet her, and I'm so excited about that. Everybody in our chat, the Grow Off, it's been awesome. Really, it's really just tremendous. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you so much.
You know we love you, Tara.
I love you guys so much. And I do appreciate you guys. And I'm sorry I'm such a stalker.
So have you had fun?
Look at my face. I'm having fun.
Excellent.
It's the time of my life. 100%.
You're easy to please.
Very much so. It doesn't take much. I'm a simple person. I really am. I'm a simple girl.
I know you just made a lot of new friends and fans today because they finally get to see the lady behind the keyboard. And with that, funny. I'm going to slide it over to Dan, our returning guest.
Right on. Hey, you guys know me. I'm Dankman Dan. Find me on Instagram. You can always catch me in the chats of the Michigan Bros Grow Show and many other platforms of cannabis-related content on YouTube and Instagram. Thanks again for the time you gave us to bullshit with you in the morning here and have a good wake and bake and let everybody know what we do on a daily.
Don't forget Dan's giveaway.
Yes, coming up. We're almost there. 500 followers, man. We got some easy swap pots we're giving away, some Bad Bunny nutrient samples, Dankman Dan shirt, and some surprises I can't disclose, but you'd probably be happy if you got it. So thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Definitely go show these guys some growers love and support. Go look at their Instagram. Tara, did you hit your Instagram shout out? You've watched all these shows, but you kind of missed your,
probably did. I
don't even know.
I can't even think what it is right now. I'm so excited. Are you kidding me? I think it's Tara Wilson at 1409. I do. I get so excited. Dan can tell you I about pee my pants every time.
Oh, that, but yeah, she's right on.
Thanks, guys.
The Major General 420 Army shout out says, Skilbo, you do this often? Man, it sure seems like I do. In fact, I think, let's see, on Monday, we had the hat trick. So every time that there's a premiere or anything, I always try to be in the chat because I want to see everybody as much and have all these good laughs too. I don't want to catch it on replay. And, we do the show on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bro Show Live, come through, see the panel, say what's up, get high with the crew. Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, you can come hang with Red and I on the late sesh. Then if you come through on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can catch the Frugal Force. And definitely anybody that is a Frugal Force fan, you are going to want to watch this Saturday's episode.
Don't miss it.
It was a blast. So on that note, I want to say that it's just really been fun for me. I've wanted to have Tara and Dan together on a show for so long because it's just always good vibes and they make me laugh, they make me happy. So it's always fun to hang out with them. And I hope that everybody has had a chance to get a proper wake and bake on, rise and grind. Coming up on, well, it's probably past 7:30 now because I'm long-winded, but you've been listening to the Wake and Bake with the Growskis. the Michigan Bros Grow Show. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a
Peace
good
out.
day.